Good morning, Sale. We're having a classic New York breakfast this morning. Hello, Elizabeth. How are you? And so I'm making a little platter of all the things that you need to enjoy your bagel in advance, because I don't like to make a whole bagel and like eat it like a hamburger. I like to make it into like 4 or 8 pieces and build it as I go. So I have first a couple of little pieces of Norwegian style smoked salmon. I've cut up a little Bermuda onion because the red onion is absolutely necessary, except no substitutes. And I've got my capers out. I have my favorite thing in the world, Trader Joe's Everything But the Bagel topping, which pops up everything. My peppermill and my little pinch of kosher salt. My toaster's out. And before I take us to the first, hello Mike, hello Dana. You guys, thanks for stopping by. So it is Saturday, so I've been trying to not drink, all day, every day. So today's going to be a special day. The sun is shining, and it is like the first spring day that we've had all spring. So it's a joyous day for me. I love the sunshine. So I'm going to have a little glass of Ballet La Pierre. We've had this before. It's a standard at Bottle Rocket. So if you're in the city, you can, or in New York, anywhere in New York, you can log on to bottlerocket.com and order from them. It's one of the coolest wine stores in the whole country. And full disclosure, I do a lot of private events for them. So I may be a little biased, but I really don't think I am. I'm pretty sure that my assessment will withstand your judgment. So let's grab a glass. Bada bing. Hello, Rennie. How are you? So let's see. It's hard not to drink every day, all day. I know. So what I've been doing is I try to, at night, maybe like between 4 and 6, make a shaker full of cocktail and then fill my glass, glass like this with ice and like this much soda water, and just put the flavor on top. And that way I can fool myself that I'm drinking for like 6 hours without really drinking for 6 hours. Thank you, Rennie, for fixing the schedule. And I'm so excited to now know when everybody's trying to be online so that we can all get on and support each other, because what do we have to do right now except support each other? So, bubbles in the fridge. And let's see. Oh, I have so much stuff in my fridge right now. I hardly have room for everything. I literally have no room for everything. So let's pull this, and I'm probably going to need this. So here's a little something that I'm going to share. Oh, I wanted to see if I could see this. By the way, guys, I'm listening to WBGO. And so if you have TuneIn Radio or some way of getting online, Sirius, go to WBGO. Newark, it is, to my estimation, maybe one of the 2 or 3 best radio stations in the whole country. And on Saturday mornings, they play Motown for like 4 hours. And what's really, frankly, more joyous than that, right? So let's see. What have I got going here? First of all, let Mama have a little sippy poo. So I pulled out, I know you can't see because everything's backwards on Facebook. I wish they would fix that. I have on my Empower Women t-shirt. I bought this. It is so huge because the year that I was going to wear it to the Women's March, it was going to be a freezing cold January, so I bought it big enough to go on over my overcoats, because I figured, what's the point in wearing a feminist t-shirt to a feminist march if you can't see it, because it's covered over in 3 layers of stuff. I figure might as well wear it, right? So here we go. What's next? So the other thing I'm going to say, guys, is that yesterday, if you remember, I did the cherry balsamic vinegar, and I took then the rest of the cherry reduction that I made, and I put a pork tenderloin in it. And I told you that I was going to cook it after it marinated, But I lied, because yesterday, hello Dominique, when it came time to have dinner, I realized that the only thing I really wanted was a French fry. I don't make French fries at home because I've worked in really nice restaurants and I know what goes into actually making an extraordinary French fry. So I live in Manhattan. I can go to a French restaurant. There are so many French restaurants around me, I could crawl on my hands and knees and not be too dirty to be accepted in. So I've never made proper French fries at home. So last night I had a bag of fingerlings. I parboiled them. I put a little olive oil and grapeseed oil in this pan, and I fried them all on one side, flipped them over, fried them on the other side, and it was a passable thing. So I ate a giant pile of fried potatoes last night. But more importantly, I learned something, and that is grapeseed oil is probably the best thing I've ever put in a pan. My pan has never looked prettier. So if you've got some cast iron, throw a little grapeseed oil in that and see what happens. Oh, maybe I could wipe the bottom off a little better. I clearly didn't do a very good job of that. Hello, Denise. How are you, darling? So anyway, there's that. That's my couple of things. So I thought maybe I might kind of start the process of cooking this little bad boy. Let's see what I have here. It's funny, it was so cool in my apartment this morning. I thought, what does bringing the meat up to room temperature really mean when it's like 60 degrees in your apartment? Here we go. Ooh, sticky. No, not, whitefish. What are we talking about? Whitefish? Do we love whitefish? Hang on just a minute. So, drying my hands a little bit. What is the first and most important thing for us to do? I think that I'm going to bring this over here and just get this meat out so that it can kind of dry up, because it's not going to do anything except steam if it's still coated in cherry juice. But yum, right? That is, I think fruit and pork are so delicious. I know a lot of people have strong feelings about fruit in their entrees, but I am not a raw fruit eater. I find that when a piece of fruit is, pardon my arm, is underripe, it is so disappointing to me that it freaks me out a little bit to crunch into something that should not have crunch. Oh, I don't like it at all. So to all my Southern girls out there, cheers. Southern ladies under tremendous stress, or sluts. It's a lovely little private club that we belong to. So I've got this here sort of drying. So now that I've made a little more space, I'm not sure of the provenance of this bagel. Normally the store gets them from Murray's. This does not, or maybe they didn't get them today. So I'm not clear on how good this is going to be. That is sad, y'all. So if this isn't great, I'm not going to waste my good fish on this. And when I go out for a walk later, I will. Yeah, I'm not feeling good. I'm not feeling this. Not that it smells bad. It's just that it's not the right texture. And I'll throw it in. I'm starving. Maybe I'll have a little bite, but maybe I won't use all the good stuff on it. What's next? Oh, so this is another thing that I did yesterday. I realized that I had bought a big container of yogurt and I wasn't going through it like I thought I would. And I don't, try not to waste food anymore, right? And then I remembered that I had this thing. Hang on a minute. Let me see if I can pull the box out. I'm sorry for this. I should have thought about this. I almost can. Here we go. Are we going to make it? Just don't let anything fall off the top of the fridge. You have no idea everything. So my friend Lasana gave me this thing years ago when she moved to Florence, Italy, not Kentucky. And so I thought, my goodness, I've never used it. So let's see what happens. So I put my yogurt into this snap together funnel. I've already poured off the water once that came out. So let's see what happens, and we might use this, but it's nice and thick. It needs something to become more cream cheese-like. So we'll think about that. Maybe a zest of lemon, maybe Think about that. You guys talk amongst yourselves while I think about that. Hello, Jeannie Gale. How are you? So, oh, that's that burning. So, sale, I'll tell you what. Grocery shopping is something that you should take advantage of the fact that immune compromised or older people are able to go in at the very first of the day. You also are going to have more likelihood of there being paper products on the shelves because they're only putting out so many a day. Maybe you consider going tomorrow morning instead of right now. Just something to think about. So I'm sort of blotting my piece of pork dry because it's been sitting in my cherry juice reduction overnight, and I'm hoping that that's just going to put a ton of flavor in there. I might even rinse that off. You never know. I got to tell you, even if the bagel isn't a good texture, it sure does smell good in the toaster. There we go. I really toasted that piece. Oh yeah, it was on 4. What am I thinking? This will be overdone, so let me, I'm gonna exhibit good behavior, and I'm gonna unplug it before I reach down in there with a fork. There we go. Yeah, that's way over toasted. That's not gonna be any fun. Sorry for wasting food. You know I try not to, but sometimes I get distracted. I have a few things going on here these days. So here we go. Again, I'm not happy with the texture of this bagel. This may be let's turn this down. I think maybe 2 seems more like it. There we go. Oops. Oh, I unplugged. Silly me. You know, it's like I don't know what I'm doing here. Here we go. So there's that. Now, I'm going to start this and get this pan warmed up because I cook my pork tenderloins entirely on the stove top. It only takes maybe 15 minutes, and then they completely cook all around and kind of brown up nicely. You don't have to worry about leaving them in the oven too long, and you can test that temperature constantly if you have a cute little handy dandy guy here. So let's see what's going to happen here. Let me kind of straighten up. Hello, Kathy. Who else is here? Let's see. Carol, hello. Fantastic, you guys. So anyway, here we go. Thank you for coming. If you didn't see that, I took the marinating juice and I put it in this little pan over here because I think what I'm going to do is bring that up to a boil for, let's call it 10 minutes or so that, or at least a simmer, so that we can cook whatever pork juices are in there. But that's not anything except just deliciousness waiting to be cooked down a little bit more and drizzled onto something, right? Don't waste anything. Everything is flavor. Cheers. So I need to season this pork a little bit. So I'm going to give it a little sprinkle with some salt, and I'm going to let the salt fall out on the other sides. Because, you know, these little loins, they're just basically a little tube. Not a tube, but a little roll. And clearly, this wants to over-toast everything. And then I'm just going to roll it a little bit so that I get salt on the other side. And there we go. I just want to salt it a little bit. Perfect. So that's good and salty. Pardon my compulsive hand rinsing. But so far I haven't ever sickened anybody in the kitchen, and I'd like to keep that. Let's see. Let's take a little bit and make myself a little bite of food since we are starving. I like the texture of this Greek yogurt spread. That's nice. A little onion. Oh. A little of the everything but the bagel. A crack of pepper. A little bit of the fish because yum. And then the pièce de résistance, we will have, it has liquid in it, so I don't want to, hello, Kim. Oh, good golly. Let's try this. There we go. Ta-da. And then I need a little, oh, I'll just use my fork. It's okay, I just grabbed that. Put these guys out here. And what could be more delicious? So Kim, who is here, when she was in New York the last time, we went with a bunch of our friends to Russ and Daughters, which is maybe my favorite bagel experience in New York. And that was absolutely fantastic. Now, guys, let's turn on some heat over here and let this come up to heat. And if you'll excuse me, if everybody would take a second and have a bite of whatever they're eating, I'll be right back. So good. Oh yeah, this was the best idea, you guys. And a nod to everything that is good about New York. Thank God for all of the wide variety of food we get to experience, and we get to have it really good. So spoiled. So grateful. Thank you for that interlude. I'll be right with you. How's this coming along? I always want this to be really hot and fully hot when I start. And then I let the meat sit for about 2 minutes. And I slowly roll it so that it's able to caramelize on every side. A lot of times if you were going to roast this, you'd want to kind of tie off this end. I don't do it. So what if you have a little piece that's a little overcooked? As we talked about yesterday, there's no more trichinosis in our pork in this country. So you don't have to cook pork to death anymore. You can, 132, 134 degrees, and you're golden. Where are my tongs? Here are my tongs. Hello. So here we go, guys. Boom, right in. Now, I'm going to come here and get my the timer going on this guy, because that's the whole trick to this, is just to make, for me, this is my technique, is to just keep it moving, right? So you don't want it to sit too long on any one side, because it's going to take, we need to turn this down. We do not want it to go at full tilt, boogie. Once you get it hot, then turn it down to a medium-low, so that it doesn't cook too fast. You don't want anything to burn here, but we might want to build another piece of bagel. Hello, Kelly. Hello, Michael. Hello, Daphne. And let's see, you guys. I love you guys for coming and playing with me. Awesome, awesome, awesome. So this is just a matter of being patient and letting it do its thing. While we're back here, I'm going to wipe this little bit of juice up off the top of my stove so it doesn't burn into the stove. Beautiful. I went to bed last night with a perfectly clean kitchen. That's part of the reason I'm so happy today, because this has been really simple. I came into a blank canvas, changed my life, y'all. So here we go. I'm going to get the heat going on my cherry juice back here. And because that cherry juice was awfully sweet and it's had the fat, I'm just going to give it a little bit more, just a tiny bit of stock. Just a little bit. No other reason. Oh gosh. Let's see. So guys, that's true. Thank you, Kelly, for pointing that out. New York is down in our numbers for like the 3rd day in a row or something. So I think that Governor Cuomo said, and please don't quote me, that if we can have 2 weeks of a downward trend, then we can start looking at kind of a month-long plan for eventually coming out and getting to do some things. Although I've been thinking about it. And please, this is my industry. What, oh, there's the chirping. So let's get this guy ready to, so look at what I've got going here. Look how pretty that is already. That's nice and browned. So now I'm just gonna sit it up here and start another 2-minute timer. And this is starting to simmer back here. That's good. You just want to cook this because it's had raw meat in it all this time, right? And you want to make sure that you kill that. I made that mistake once. I've never been so sick. That's good. That's good. So let's build another. What the heck was I talking about? Yeah, so you guys, you know that it's funny that you never know how crazy minds work, but Lysol used to be a do-it-yourself birth control back in, the days before easy-to-ingest birth control. So, maybe he's conflating something. Anyway, please do not inject anything into your body. Let a healthcare professional do that for you. That's my best advice. I may not be a doctor, but I could play one on TV because I know the Joey Tribbiani. You know what that is? It's trying to divide 284 by 13. Oh gosh, look, see what I've done? It's come all the way up to boiling. I've got to turn this way down. Down, there we go. That was a good save. So I've lost my butter warmer. Can't find it, don't know what I've done with it. It's somewhere in here, so I'm gonna have to get down on my hands and knees and figure it out. 25 seconds. Let's keep building this little bite of bagel. I gotta tell you, somehow I don't mind the texture because maybe it's because my fish is so good. It's really good fish. And oops, see, this wants to come up. This is like cooking like candy. I better stop this or it will be like yesterday candy. But I think I just want to make sure that I don't undercook it because, like I said, there was a piece of pork sitting in it overnight. Second timer. So, again, beautifully crusted here. And the little tail isn't actually hitting the pan, so that's good that it's kind of staying a little rarer than the other bits and pieces. I like that. Let's see. So, did anybody hear that Kim Jong-un died and his evil-looking sister? Don't mean to evil shame her, but she does look a little scary. She's one of those people who I feel like her smile doesn't get all the way to her eyes, and that freaks me out. So let's see, this is going. Oh, I didn't start the timer. That is key. You gotta start the timer every time. So now I've finally gotten this under control so that this is just a simmer. And since it did come up to that big high boil a couple of times, I'm gonna thin it out just one more time because I don't want it to be candy that, when it cools, it literally doesn't move. And I have to put something in the water in the pan for 3 days to get it to move. So, let's see. Here we go. So we've got a lot of people in my life are scared of needles. And I think that, I don't know if they think that's funny. I don't mean to laugh at your pain. No schadenfreude here. I don't think anybody likes them. But I think if you just don't look when they actually stick into your flesh. That's always been my trick. Just don't look. But then it's okay. Because then they usually put like a cotton ball and a Band-Aid and a few things so you don't have to see it. That's the freaky thing, is seeing things going into your flesh. Because the flesh should be whole, right? That's what I think. How are we doing? 54 seconds. I'm getting ahead of myself. So would anyone like to take a quick bagel bite break? So delicious. Hello, Mary. Hello, Leah. I'm pretty sure that I heard a caper go renegade. So for those of you who have come in later, last night I made cream cheese basically out of Greek yogurt last night. I went out this morning and got a bagel and a little salmon. I've shaved up some Bermuda onion. And for those of you who are not New Yorkers, it has to be a red onion, except no substitutes. And of course, capers and my favorite, everything but the bagel. So there's my 2-minute timer. Let's just start that again. And let's see, here's my last side to get fully caramelized all the way around. Sometimes you have to sometimes I just have to hold it a second with sometimes you have to hold it the whole 2 sec for the last bit. But yeah, this is all good. It's all browned nicely and caramelizing. Now I am going to hold up the very tail end, because why would you want to miss one little bit of crusty deliciousness? If you're going to make a piece of meat, make it the best you possibly can, I would say, right? So, guys, if the weather is beautiful where you are, go outside. Mayor, I hope you guys are outside doing something or going outside soon. Oh, how did I make cream cheese? I'm so sorry. Hello, Katie. How are you? How do you make cream cheese? Where did I put the thing? Oh, yes. So my friend Lasana, several years ago when she was moving to Florence, Italy, you know, she had to really pare things down. She gave me this funny little thing. I mean, I have no idea what is it? Does it say anything? Mike's Famous Yogurt Cheese Maker. I had never used it. It's been in my cupboard for, golly gee, she's been gone for probably close to 10 years. And so you just put it together, and it's a plastic funnel that has this piece of mesh on the inside. And so you see, there, drip, drip. And so I just put it here, and it drips out all of the liquid, and it's great. Now, to make it more actual cream cheese-y, you might want to flavor it up, but I don't see it. Now, by itself, it tastes like super thick Greek yogurt, but on this bite of bagel, I don't see the difference at all. It's fantastic. And I did it because I bought a 2 big tub of Greek yogurt, and I knew I wasn't going to get through it. And, you know, we're trying not to waste food, right? So there's my other timer. Now, I'm just going to hold this here for a second. And at the same time, I'm going to pop this baby out and see where we are temperature-wise. Okay. Let's see. It's coming up nicely. All right, we're slowing down right about 100. So now it's not such a big deal. I'm just gonna keep that 2-minute timer on and check the temperature every now and again until it gets up to about, I don't know, 135. And then if you've got a beautiful crust on it, you can set it aside and it'll continue to cook a little bit. Just depends on where you're comfortable with. I feel like Meredith and Chris, I feel like I saw that you guys had done pork loin the other day. I think that's probably what made me pick this up when I was at the store. And I noticed that you guys had still left a little pink in the center. Of course, God only knows. I've soaked mine in cherry juice for 24 hours. So who knows what mine's going to look like. All right, so while we've been here, and have I gotten, look, see now I've got a nice sear on the end. And now I'm just going to sit this back down. And why poke a new hole, right? So I'm just going to let that sit there for a second. Let's see if I can prop that up a little bit so that it's not on the pan. Perfect. So, cheers. I'm prattling on and not paying attention to what everybody's doing here. So, I thank you guys for everything. I feel like that this has probably simmered long enough that I'm not going to die from raw meat parts either. And I think that's probably about it today. I'll set this aside once it's completely done. And then I'm going to go out and have a nice walk, I think, because it's so gorgeous outside. And I do have an announcement to make. I have been consulting with my former neighbor and sort of expert on all things online. And she says I need to take a day off. And I think she's right. That I realize, hello Thomas, that if I don't have a day to sort of sit down and plan and look at what's in my fridge, that I kind of end up just winging it. So I'm going to try to be more responsible to myself, more responsible to the using of goods and the earth, and more responsible to you, and make things as entertaining and as like good as they can be, right? If you're going to do a job, do it the best you possibly can. So that's my goal here. So will not be doing Sunday tomorrow. I'm probably going to take Sundays off. You know, now I know that when the good Lord made the earth, it was Saturdays that he took off. But, you know, in the common era, Sunday is our day of rest. So I'm going to do that tomorrow, and I'm going to spend the day tagging up my YouTube channel and that kind of thing. So I will say to you, if anybody has like a spare computer that you're not using over the weekend, maybe you could just let it play all the videos on my YouTube channel over the last month. Because guys, I think today is day 1 of month 2 of Cooking in Quarantine. Who knew we would ever get this far? Actually, I did. We'll talk about that on Monday. I was kind of expecting to be here for a long time. So I'm thrilled, you guys, that we're still here. And we're still, that we're still here together, that we're able to support each other, that you guys support me. And I can't tell you how much Thomas pointed out the other day that he hadn't touched a person in, what did you say, 52 days? And I counted and realized it was 54 days. I will tell you that I accidentally broke that today. My neighbor needed some help because he couldn't get his email to connect. So I went to help, social distancing, masks, the whole deal. But I know where he's been. I've been watching it for the last 6 weeks. And when I fixed the email out of gratitude and human habit, we high-fived. So I've broken it. I've touched a human. I'm so sorry. So anyway, where were we going with this? I touched a human today, and I was immediately like aware of it. Like, oh my gosh, I touched people. So that's kind of a weird thing to freak out, because we're so, especially in New York, we're so accustomed to seeing everybody we know in the street and hugging them and kissing on both cheeks and that kind of thing. Shaking hands is so stiff and formal. We're like, oh, I love you, I love you. And so it's just, such a natural thing to reach out in celebration. Hello, Angie. So there you go. I broke that. I do look forward to touching another human soon, I have to say. It felt great. So we're going to take a day off on Sundays. Anything else that I need to think about here? I'm taking that out because that's going to get too hot. Take a day off. Take a day for yourselves too. So tomorrow, guys, get out there. I miss hugs too so badly. I told Hugo that when he is finally finished with this project, that has to be finished because, IT, government people have got to get these things built out, and he can come. I'm like, whatever you want, I have to have one of these. And if I cry for a little while, just let me sob gently while I get my 6-7 weeks of hugs in. I mean, hello. Like my friend Sheila says, when this is over with, I'm going to hug you and it's going to get weird. So there you go. I'm going to hug you and it might be weird. So husbands and wives, do not get jealous if I seem to be inappropriately hugging your spouse. It's just because I'm going to have to. It makes me think of when Billy Bob Thornton was the guest starred on The Big Bang Theory. He insisted that Penny was trying to hit on him because she reached out and touched his arm for 3 Mississippis. Right? So there we go. I am going to do this and see where we are. And so guys, there you go. Food is cooking. Hello, Matt Greenberg. You guys, I have friends from New York. I have family members on here. I have friends from college. If there's anything that I have realized in this quarantine, in isolation, is that don't you feel fortunate, all of the people that have reached out to you from all parts of your life, and don't you feel loved in a way that you probably wouldn't have ever experienced if it weren't for this? I spent last night talking until 2 in the morning with a bunch of girlfriends from coast to coast. And another night this week, I was on with a bunch of girlfriends I've known since basically kindergarten. So I think this is really special, and it makes you realize. I saw a thing the other day, and it said, what is the meaning of life? And the meaning of life is not that old 80s motto that he with the most toys when he dies wins. Really, it's who did you touch, who did you help, how did you use your life in a way that was good and for good. And at the end of the day, I think that that's what the core of most ethical teaching is that if you come from a place of love, genuinely love moving outward, not something that is narcissistically fed inward, that you're going to be okay and you're doing the right thing in life. So, like I say every day, take care of yourself, do something good for your heart, your body, your mind. Reach out to somebody that could use your affection and be bettered by it. So that's the best way that you can use your powers for good rather than evil. And I probably better go look at my piece of pork before it's overcooked. And oh my gosh, guys, perfect. I'm at 132. So just a degree or so to go. And then I think what I'll probably do, because I'm so excited to get outside into the sun, is just put this over here on not this plate, but a clean plate, and tent it with a little bit. Hello, Nancy. Now we have Austria in the house. This is so cool. It's so much fun, you guys, to see people, like I said, from all of my parts of my life coming together here. You guys should really all get to know each other. You're all fabulous people, and I can't tell you enough. Go take care of yourselves. Go have a great day. Do something. Get out. Walk in the sun. Walk in the rain. I was thinking about this. Floss an extra couple of times a week until the dentists reopen, right? Maybe that's a good practice as well. So you guys, the pork is within a degree or two of being done. I have another bite of my perfect bagel with a little extra everything but the bagel. Again, not being paid, because I just love this stuff. With some Bermuda onion, some good Norwegian salmon, capers, and my first attempt at yogurt cheese. So guys, I love you all. Have a great day. See you Monday. Ciao.